there are fewer people suddenly who want to travel to the United
Well,
States?
there could be a little, there's a little nationalism there, I guess, perhaps. It's not a big deal.
Do you think some people are scared to come here because they hear the stories of tourists who are detained for a few days or even a week or two?
We treat our tourists great. We're the tourism capital of the world. There's no place like this. And there may be a little bit of nationalism, but I doubt it. I actually doubt it.
Since the beginning of the second Trump administration, we've seen a drop in overseas travelers coming to the U.S. Stats from the International Trade Administration show February saw a decrease of 2.4% compared to the same time last year, but the decline was even more steep in March, 11.6%. compared year over year. Now, the exact reasons, we should clarify, are unclear, but February was the first date the president signed his first executive action to impose tariffs against Mexico, Canada, and China. And early March was when the U.S. began detaining green card holders like Mahmoud Khalil.
Tourism is changing the face of Africa, not as a story of wildlife alone, but as one of innovation, culture, and rising prosperity. Across the continent, new airports, visa-free corridors, smart hotels, and eco-resorts are fueling a travel revolution that economists now value at more than $400 billion US a year. It wasn't too long ago that much of global tourism marketing painted Africa in narrow frames, safaris, savannas, and sunsets. Today, travelers are coming for technology festivals in Kigali, art fairs in Lagos, wine routes in Cape Town, and the beach clubs of Zanzibar. Everywhere you look, the narrative is shifting from dependency to dynamism. Africa's tourism renaissance began quietly after the pandemic. While Europe and the United States were still debating vaccine passports, countries such as Rwanda, Mauritius, and Ghana were streamlining digital entry systems and promoting domestic exploration. Airlines reopened quickly. New regional carriers linked secondary cities that had never before been directly connected. The African Union's push for the single African air transport market started to bear fruit. Cheaper flights, smoother transfers, more tourists. In Kenya, visitor numbers rebounded by over 70% within a single year. National parks began pairing conservation with community ownership, ensuring that safari dollars built schools and clinics. In Morocco, a new wave of luxury riads and desert camps attracted travelers seeking design and authenticity. South Africa's Western Cape reinvented itself as a culinary and adventure destination, hosting everything from jazz festivals to shark cage diving. Each country found its niche, and together they began capturing a larger share of global travelers than ever before. Behind the scenes, infrastructure spending accelerated. Modern terminals rose in Addis Ababa and Abuja. New rail links now carry tourists from Mombasa to Nairobi in 4 hours. Hotel brands such as Marriott, Radisson, and local innovators like Protea and City Blue expanded aggressively. Digital startups offered seamless bookings, mobile payments, and bilingual guides, letting a traveler plan an entire African itinerary from one app. What was once fragmented is becoming connected. Sustainability sits at the heart of this growth. Governments are learning from the mistakes of mass tourism elsewhere. Rwanda limits the number of daily gorilla tracking permits to preserve its forests. Namibia promotes community conservancies where wildlife and villages coexist profitably. Cape Verde runs almost entirely on renewable energy, powering resorts without straining local grids. These examples are now taught in global tourism schools as models for balancing profit and planet. Cultural tourism has exploded too. The return of African artifacts from European museums sparked interest in local heritage centers. Accra's Year of Return campaign brought thousands of diaspora visitors home, blending genealogy, music, and investment. Film industries from Nollywood to South Africa's Cape Town studios turned cities into backdrops for global productions, drawing film tourists and creating new jobs. Festivals, from Lake of Stars in Malawi to Nyej Nyej in Uganda, attract audiences that stay, spend, and share their experiences online. Technology is rewriting the visitor experience. Virtual reality safaris, drone photography tours, and AI-driven translation apps make exploration easier than ever. In Egypt, digital ticketing now controls crowd sizes at ancient sites. In Botswana, blockchain is used to trace ethical diamond tours. Africa's young population, the youngest on Earth, is turning tourism into a tech business, proving that innovation and hospitality can grow together. Financially, the results are transformative. Tourism now contributes about 8% of continental GDP and supports more than 24 million jobs. Before the pandemic, Africa received around 70 million international visitors a year. Analysts expect that number to surpass 100 million by the end of this decade. Domestic and regional travel are also surging as middle-class incomes rise. The African Continental Free Trade Area simplifies cross-border movement, making it easier for a Ghanaian to vacation in Kenya or a South African to invest in Tanzanian resorts. This intra-African wave may be the most powerful change of all. When Africans travel within Africa, money stays within the continent, strengthening airlines, hotels, and local suppliers. It also builds a shared identity, a sense that the beauty of the continent belongs to everyone who calls it home. The global industry is taking notice. Major investors from the Gulf and Asia are funding new airports and coastal developments. European carriers are increasing flights not just to capitals, but to leisure destinations like Sharm el-Sheikh, Maputo, and Dakar. At travel expos in London and Berlin, African stands draw the largest crowds. Their message clear: this is the frontier of growth. For the United States and Europe, the story isn't one of loss, but of competition. As travelers discover affordable luxury and unique experiences south of the Sahara, traditional tourism powerhouses must innovate to keep pace. African destinations now appear on top 10 lists that used to be dominated by Paris, Rome, or New York. It's a rebalancing of perception and a sign that global travel demand is diversifying. Looking ahead, Africa's tourism potential could exceed $600 billion within a decade if current trends continue. Key to sustaining this rise will be connectivity, security, and storytelling. Airlines must keep expanding direct routes. Governments must ensure visitor safety. Creators must keep sharing authentic, compelling narratives that inspire trust and wonder. The momentum is already visible. From the beaches of Mozambique to the vineyards of Stellenbosch, from Kilimanjaro's snowcaps to the medinas of Tunis, Africa's landscapes are no longer framed as remote. They are reachable, welcoming, and world-class. This is not charity or curiosity. It is commerce, creativity, and confidence. When future historians chart the great shifts of the 21st century, they may write that Africa's rise was powered not only by minerals and megacities, but by the simple act of people crossing borders to experience one another's worlds. Because every tourist arrival is more than a transaction, it is a vote of confidence in the continent's future. Africa's tourism boom is not just about visitors coming in. It's about stories going out. Stories of renewal, resilience, and radiant possibility. And those stories are rewriting the global map of travel forever.